This is a live picture from the scene. You can see heavily armed law enforcement officers, suited up in full regalia, full SWAT gear with cameras on their helmets. They are fully armed, and this is in that neighborhood in Southwest Atlanta, where we now know that Derrick Groves was taken back into custody. So this is a live picture from the scene at this hour. Lots of law enforcement sources. You can see a police vest there. That's an indication that possibly Atlanta police are involved in this operation. We know that the U.S. Marshal's Office is likely involved in this situation, given that they have been the ones who've been leading the search for Derrick Groves. That is a SWAT vehicle that you can see right there that's now being maneuvered around this neighborhood in Southwest Atlanta. That is what we're looking at right now, is a heavily armored vehicle, likely part of possibly the Atlanta Police Department's SWAT unit. You see a police car there in the foreground, also an indicator that this is Atlanta Police. I'm not familiar with what their police cruisers look like, but that is an indicator that this is actually Metro Atlanta Police possibly helping in this operation. We started to first get word, that looks like Clayton. I'm not sure. Clayton County Police, possibly, which you would think would be a sheriff's office. So maybe it's Clayton, Georgia. I'm not sure if this is like a smaller suburban municipality. We're going to have to kind of clarify the exact details of where exactly this is. Or that could just be a neighboring police department that has been assisting Atlanta police, assisting federal authorities, assisting a number of different law enforcement agencies as they tried to figure out whether or not, first, Derrick Groves was actually in this location, and secondly, how to find him and how to take him into custody. No word from any sort of law enforcement sources about whether or not, he was injured as they took him into custody, or what his condition might be at this time. But we do know that he is in law enforcement custody per our law enforcement sources as of around 1 o'clock this afternoon. So this weeks-long manhunt is now over for Derrick Groves. The question now will be, number one, getting those details, trying to find out, exactly how this unfolded this afternoon in Atlanta, how law enforcement ended up getting a tip about where Derrick Groves might be. Of course, we do know that there is a huge reward for information, essentially, a type of bounty on his head for anybody who was able to provide a Crime Stoppers tip. I believe it's $100,000, something close to that, if I remember correctly, about how much money people could make just by tipping off the police about where he might be. So unclear at this point whether or not that huge reward for information